What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. Happy Friday to you guys. Happy Falcons Friday to you guys. We made it through another week. Christmas is upon us, so Merry Christmas to all my Falcons fans, all of my subscribers, or whoever's checking out this video. I want to go ahead and do the pregame show for this Sunday's game, which is the last home game of the season against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I do expect this to be another Falcons win. And I am expecting a good game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I want to go ahead and give you guys some keys to victory for this game. Before I do that, big ups to all of my subscribers, those who helped me grow this page. I'm looking to get it to, the goal is to get it to 1,000 subscribers so we can go ahead and start doing live videos. But until we get it there, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed to the channel. If you're new here, please like, share, subscribe, share it out to your Facebook groups, any other Falcons fans you may know, any football fans that you may know. Definitely share these videos, but I appreciate all you do. So let's jump right into the video. Let's talk a little bit about the Jacksonville Jaguars before we get into our keys to victory. The Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback right now is Gardner Minshew, who is actually their backup quarterback coming into the season out of Washington State. Prior to him being a quarterback, their starting quarterback was actually Nick Foles, the Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles, who was a longtime Philadelphia Eagle. He was their backup quarterback, and a few years ago he did lead them to a Super Bowl in the playoffs with Carson Wentz going down with that knee injury. So he actually was the starter. Like I said, he was signed in the offseason by Jacksonville, Nick Foles. And he actually broke his collarbone in the first game of the season. And Gardner Minshew stepped right in, and the Jaguars didn't miss a beat. He actually came in and shocked a lot of people. I know he shocked me. Got the pleasure of seeing Gardner Minshew play a couple games this season because I do actually live in Orlando, Florida. So I get all of the Jacksonville Jaguars games and Tampa Bay Buccaneers games like on local TV. So I've checked out Gardner Minshew and the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's a pretty solid quarterback, mobile quarterback, can definitely scramble out the pocket and make throws down the field. He likes to throw deep down the field to his receivers, DJ Chark, who is the young receiver, their first-round pick last year out of the University of LSU. He goes about 6'4", 6'5". He'll put you in the mind of a Mike Evans that plays for the Buccaneers, a tall, slender guy, but likes to high point the ball when they throw the ball to him deep down the field. So we have to be very careful about him because DJ Chark is tall and fast. Another weapon that Gardner Minshew has at receivers, Dede Westbrook, the receiver out of Oklahoma University. He's a smaller wide receiver, but they like to play him in the slot. He's very quick and short area quickness. He likes to do those jerk routes and likes to do slants and things of that nature. So we have to be very careful. And also Dede Westbrook, sometimes he returns punts and stuff like that for Jacksonville as well. So he's a gadget guy. And then in the backfield, the X factor for their team is Leonard Fournette, who is the LSU alumni. He did attend the University of LSU. He's a very big back, bruising back, a battering ram, very physical. So we definitely have to be ready for this game. Last week was a good test for our Falcons with the 49ers, who are like second in rushing in the league. Jacksonville definitely has a stout running game and a very good running back in Leonard Fournette. So we definitely have to bring multiple hats to the football when we try to bring down Leonard Fournette. He is very big, physical, breaks tackles. So we're going to need to bring gang tackle and bring multiple hats to the ball at all times. The guys up front are definitely going to have to be prepared like they were against the 49ers and be motivated to stop Leonard Fournette and shut down that rushing attack. Now on the defense, shifting over to the defense side of the ball, they do have the anchor in the middle, Calais Campbell, and he's been a long-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle. He spent majority of his career with the Arizona Cardinals. He did help lead them to a Super Bowl years ago against the Pittsburgh Steelers when he played with Kurt Warner in Arizona. So he's also a leader on that, the leader on that team. A veteran. Calais Campbell is very physical, kind of like the modern day Fletcher Cox, but he's been doing it a lot longer than Fletcher Cox. He's a veteran, been in the league, I think, over 10 seasons now with Calais Campbell. Very tall player, very big player, and is the anchor on that defensive line. They do also have Josh Allen, who is the defensive end, and he's another guy. I think he went to Kentucky when he was in college, and he was their first round pick, I think, this year. He's a rookie, and he's a pretty tall player as well, slender. Kind of puts you in the mind of the guy Leonard Floyd that plays with the Chicago Bears. He's slender, very quick off the edge, very slick off the edge, and definitely makes plays. And been very impressed out of him as a rookie. So that defensive line has some players up front. Ngakoue is another guy that we have to look out for. He's on the other side at defensive end. He's another player that can wreck a game for you. So our offensive line is going to have to be very stout in this game and ready to slow down that pass rush, because they are one of the top teams in sacks this year. They were calling them Saxonville, meaning the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've been one of the top teams in getting sacks this year. So we have to be ready to slow down that pass rush in this game. And then on the back end, they lost Jalen Ramsey to a trade. So they're very young on their back end at corner. So the strength of this team is definitely their front seven. But let's jump right into our keys to victory for our Atlanta Falcons. In this game, number one will be running the football in this game, staying balanced to slow down that pass rush, as I was just stating. Our offensive line has looked much better the last two games with getting Chris Lindstrom back, our number one draft pick out of Boston College. He's played well at the guard position. This last game, he had a nice block on Bosa. He had a play where he knocked Bosa's head off, basically. Bosa tried to spin inside to get around Caleb McGarry, and Chris Lindstrom just basically knocked his head off. So Chris Lindstrom is very physical. Him and Caleb McGarry, our two number one draft picks, on the right side of the line, has definitely done a great job since Chris Lindstrom has come back in the last two games. So I'm looking for these guys to continue to improve. The offensive line as a whole looked way better the past couple games. The last two games with Chris Lindstrom back in the mix. And we know last week was a great litmus test of the 49ers, who have one of the best defensive lines in the game, being that they have so many number one draft picks on their defensive line. And our team held up really well. I don't think they allowed I think we only allowed one sack last game against the 49ers, who's one of the best pass rushing teams in the game. So we did a great job last week of keeping it balanced, running the football, and we did an excellent job of staying ahead of the chains, not getting behind the chains. So big ups to our offense. But in this game, like I said, key to victory number one will be staying balanced. Dirk Cutter did a good job last game of running the football and passing the football. I will keep that mix up. I will continue to feed Devontae Freeman, Brian Hill, and Quadre Olson. Like I said before, in my keys to victory last week, the Falcons definitely followed that trend by running the football in this last game. When we got on the goal line, they gave the ball to Quadre Olson and used him as that battering ram that he is. They used Brian Hill out on the edge, and they used Devontae Freeman on the edge and running inside. So we did a good job of mixing it up with that three-headed monster that we have right now in our backfield. And also, they did a good job of protecting Matt Ryan in this game. So that's definitely the key to victory number one, will be protecting the football, protecting Matt Ryan, and running the football, keeping it balanced. Dirk Cutter. Number two will be stopping the run. We must cut off the running game. Leonard Fournette is one of the better running backs in the game, like I mentioned before, big, strong. So you got to bring multiple hats to the football. You have to wrap up. You cannot just be throwing your body and throwing your head out there, throwing your helmet, trying to hit Leonard Fournette. You definitely have to wrap him up around his ankles, wrap and roll, as Dan Quinn likes to teach. We definitely have to get multiple guys to the ball and not assume that once someone has Leonard Fournette in their grasp that they have him down, because he fights for every single inch and every single yard. So we definitely have to be ready to be physical up front. All of those guys, Grady Jarrett, Vic Beasley, Jack Crawford, Adrian Claiborne, all of those guys. We need all of those guys to get multiple hats to the ball at all times and be very physical in the trenches. We must win the game, the line of scrimmage in this game. Number three, key to victory will be getting after Gardner Minshew. I expect Vic Beasley to have a big game in this game. I'm expecting 2 sacks out of Vic Beasley. I know that sounds like a lot, but I feel like Vic Beasley has been coming on, and he's definitely trying to get to that 10 sack mark on the season, and he's trying to get that new contract. I made a video about 2 weeks ago about why we should re-sign Vic Beasley, and I told you guys that Vic Beasley was improving, and I seen that Vic Beasley's turning the corner. He had another sack last week where he made a quick move inside and took advantage of Joe Staley on the pass rush early in the game. He set the tone with that sack starting the game off on the first drive. So I'm looking for Vic Beasley to have a strip sack in this game and maybe have 2 or 3 sacks in this game. I'm definitely saying I think he's at least going to have 2 sacks with Takk McKinley going down. I really think that Vic Beasley is going to step up, and he's definitely going to get to that 10 sack mark. He has 2 games to do it. This game against Jacksonville and then next week against Tampa. And I feel like Vic Beasley is more than capable of getting to those double-digit sacks on the year. But Vic Beasley has been, played great over the last couple games. Like I said, I feel like he's turning a corner, and they're finally starting to use Vic Beasley the correct way, meaning Dan Quinn and the defensive coordinators in Jeff Ulbrich and Raheem Morris. But it's just not all on Vic Beasley. I do think that Vic Beasley is the X factor of getting after the quarterback, but I also think that Grady Jarrett, he's been a one-man wrecking crew, getting after the quarterback and collapsing the pocket and just hustling to the ball. And he did also make the Pro Bowl this year for the first time. Grady Jarrett, I'm so proud of him. He's definitely been balling out the last couple weeks, and he pretty much just balled out all season despite our record. He's definitely earned the new contract he was given in the offseason. So I expect him to be a problem in the run game and also getting pressure on Gardner Minshew. On the other side, Adrian Claiborne did a great job stepping in for Takk McKinley, who hurt his shoulder and is on IR now. Adrian Claiborne did a great job of setting the edge last week and cutting off those outside runs that Kyle Shanahan, is known for. So I'm expecting big things out of him in this game as well. And then we also are getting John Cominsky back. So I want to see what the rookie has out there, whether he's playing inside or outside, whether he's playing at the nose position or whether he's playing a defensive end position. I want to see what John Cominsky can bring to the table. He's our rookie out of Charleston University, and when I've seen him in the preseason, he's a player that reminds me of like a poor man's Grady Jarrett when it comes to energy. He looks like he plays with a very high motor. So I'm definitely interested to see what he can bring to the table in this game and see how he can get after the quarterback and also create havoc in the run game and setting the edge for the run game. So definitely looking forward to seeing a lot out of John Cominsky in this game, Vic Beasley, and all of those guys up front, man. The fourth key to victory is just feeding the ball to Julio. I don't think that it's no one on that team. Well, it's no one really in the NFL that can stop Julio, but I don't think it's really no key guy on their team now that Jalen Ramsey is gone. They do have a veteran corner. I forget his name now, but he was another guy that was playing with Jalen Ramsey. He was a second string corner. I forget his name now that plays with the Jaguars. You can drop his name in a comment. I can't think of his name right now, but he wears number 21 for them. He's a good player as well at the corner position. But I still think that I think his name is Aboye or something like that. But I don't think that he's going to be ready for Julio. You know, we seen Julio last week basically took over the game. He could have really had almost 200 yards receiving last game because Julio dropped when I rewatched the game, he dropped like 2 passes. One was like a deep post across the middle of the field where he was in the slot. He dropped one on first down. It was like first to second and 18, and he dropped like a 20-yard pass, and he still caught for over 130 yards last game. So Julio, I expect a big game out of Julio again. Dirk Cutter did a good job of moving Julio around in that last game, and I expect the same thing out of this game. The weakness of the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is that back four, that secondary, and I do think that Julio Jones, him and Matt Ryan just look like they're in sync at this point, and I don't think that no one's going to be able to slow them down at this point. The best chance that the Jaguars have against our offense will be sacking Matt Ryan and getting pressure. But if they don't get home, they're going to really be in trouble in this game. And if we come in with a similar game plan that we had last game against the 49ers, I really think that we can put up 30 points on this Jaguars defense. And I really think that this game could get ugly really fast if we can come out and score points and get Julio Jones the ball. Because last game, the game was solely revolved around Julio, and he definitely took over that game last week with 2 touchdowns and like 13 receptions. So I expect another big game out of Julio. He's another player that got a big contract over the offseason, and he's did nothing but ball for our team. So big ups to Julio, definitely the best receiver in the game. Now, key to victory, I think this is key to victory number 4 or 5. And this is the last key to victory, is get off to a fast start. If we can get out to a big start, I always talk about this all the time, and I just want to continue to reiterate this. The Falcons are a offensive team. I know that Dan Quinn is a defensive-minded coach, but most of our talent is on the offensive side of the ball. We're very explosive on the offensive side of the ball. We do have young players on defense and have a chance to have a huge upside and huge ceiling where we can become a defensive team, but mainly we're an offensive driven team. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Devontae Freeman, Austin Hooper. Most of our money is on our offensive side of the ball, and we've put most of our assets into the offensive side of the ball. So using every game, I always say if we can dominate on the offense, whether it's dominating time of possession, whether it's being very explosive and having a bunch of explosive plays and a bunch of quick touchdowns, I really think that we can dominate this game, because once you get up with that huge lead, you can allow your pass rushers to just pin their ears back and go after the quarterback of the opposing team. So I'm looking for that in this game. I hope we can jump out to a big lead and then allow Vic Beasley to try to break a record with how many sacks he could get in the game. Because I really think if we get out to a big lead, we'll be able to let Vic Beasley and those guys off the leash and let those guys go attack. And that's what I'm expecting in this game. If we can get ahead, I really think that Vic Beasley and those guys are going to have a big day with sacks in this game. I think that Gardner Minshew is going to be running for his life, and I really think that we're going to have a big game. So that's my 5th key to victory, is just get off to a quick start and just score as many points, have explosive plays, score as many points as possible, and try to get out to a lead. If you can get out to a lead and make Gardner Minshew and that offense play from behind, you put a lot of pressure on them, and I'm expecting us to force Gardner Minshew into a turnover. And we have that ball hawk who's one of the X factors on this team in that secondary, and DeMonte Casey. He just has a nose for the football, and I feel like he's going to have some type of turnover in this game, whether it's him causing a fumble or him having an interception. It seems like every game you turn around, DeMonte Casey is making a big play, whether it's on special teams where he's causing a fumble, or whether it's on the defensive side of him catching an interception. He's done an excellent job of taking over that free safety position and us moving Rico Allen down to that strong safety position. That was the best move and an excellent move by Dan Quinn early this season. And the defensive coordinators did a great job. Raheem Morris, since he's been over on the defensive side of the ball, and Coach Ulbrich, the linebackers coach, those guys have done an excellent job of calling the defense. In this game, I hope they mix it up, bring some pressure. As far as getting after Gardner Minshew, bring pressure, bring some zone blitzes, bring different looks, drop some of the defensive linemen off the line like we were doing with Jack Crawford in a couple games this season, drop him into the middle of the zone or middle of the coverage. We got to do some different things in this game because Gardner Minshew is a very young quarterback and he hasn't seen every defense you can throw at him. So if we can mix up and have multiple different defenses where we can confuse Gardner Minshew, I expect at least 2 turnovers in this game, whether it's a fumble or interception. But that's pretty much it for the video, you guys. Like I said, I don't really expect the Jaguars to beat us in this game. Even though Jacksonville has a solid team, I don't think we should sleep on them. They're 5-9, just like we're 5-9, and they want to go ahead and they're trending upward as well. I think they beat Oakland last week, the Raiders in Oakland. So the Jaguars are not going to roll over for us. They play with a lot of pride, and those guys will be ready to play. So I just hope that we can keep our momentum going and definitely end this season on a 3-game winning streak if possible. But that's been my time. You guys let me know what you think about the video. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Shout out to all of you guys. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Like I said, I'm definitely expecting the 2020 Falcons in the next season to be a playoff team and make a Super Bowl run. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the young guys. I'm liking the improvements that I've seen since the bye week, since week 8. Looks like we definitely have turned things around, and this coaching staff have done an excellent job of coaching these guys up. And I really feel like this could easily be a trap game for us because we did just have a big win against the 49ers. So hopefully we bring that same energy and aggressiveness and that we played with in San Francisco. Hopefully come in with that same mindset to dominate on every possession and dominate on every side of the ball as far as winning the line of scrimmage and playing smart football. And hopefully we come in determined, to defeat the Jaguars, just like we came in against the 49ers. But that's been my time. Like I said, you guys, I'll holler at y'all in the next vid. This been your boy Jew. If you want to follow me, like I said, on Twitter, it's at Jew Talk Sports. If you would like to donate, you can hit me at the Cash App. It'll be the $ Jew Talk Sports. I appreciate all of you guys who have subscribed. Appreciate all of you guys who continue to show love, leave comments. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Definitely share this to all of your Falcons groups. All right, this been your boy Jew. Y'all enjoy the weekend. I'll holler at y'all in the next vid. I'll probably do my next vid probably on Monday because I definitely want to check out the other games that's going on, like the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles and some of these games that have playoff aspirations. I definitely want to check out those games. And also, I wanted to share this before I get off the video, you guys. I'm thinking about, well, I know I'm going to do this. Starting next year, I'm definitely going to be giving you guys the winner each week for each game. I'm going to predict who's going to win each game. And I'm going to start doing that during the playoffs this season. So you guys can tell me what you think about that. I'm going to break down who I think is going to win these playoff games coming up. Because the Falcons, since we're not making the playoffs, I definitely still want to cover football. So I will be covering each and every playoff game this playoff season. And then next season, I'm going to break down every single game, meaning I'm going to tell you who's going to win each game. I won't go into detail like I do with the Falcons of telling you each player for each team and all of that because I don't know every single team in depth. But I will tell you who I believe will win each game. So if you're a person that likes to bet on games and stuff like that, personally, I don't bet on games for the most part. It's rare that I'll bet on the game unless I'm betting on the Falcons game with like a close friend or something like that. But it's rare. I'm not really a betting man. But if you're one of those people that bet, on Vegas or in point spreads and stuff like that, I definitely possibly will be able to help you guys if you watch my videos starting next season. And in the playoffs starting this season, I'm going to break down who I think is going to win each game. I won't do a point spread, but I'll say which team I think will win starting this playoffs. And then next year, every time I do my Falcons videos, I'm also, at the end of my video, go down the week of week 1, week 2, week 3, whatever week it is, tell you guys on each game who I think is going to win that game. But this has been your boy Jew. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that in the comments. Tell me what you thought about this video in the comments. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Y'all enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the other games. Merry Christmas. All right. Peace.